an in-house production.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another another giving away game interview. I am here with the Riches,
Hi.
Dave and Stephanie. How
Yep.
you guys doing today?
Great.
Good.
Good. I'm so glad you can make it on. I appreciate you coming. All right. So today we're just going to talk about their relationship. You guys are married, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
How long have you been married?
Coming up on
Almost
14
14.
years.
14 years is a long time.
Went fast.
Right. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's get started. So first, how did you guys meet? And this is a question that, for some reason, it never seems to have the same answer between the man and the woman. I don't know why. They always
I was
have some
gonna
kind of
say.
different story about how they met or how they got together. It's kind of weird. So, how did you guys meet? We'll let the lady go first.
Okay, so I was new to St. Louis. A girl who called on me's husband worked for Dave. Was like,
Mhm.
I know this guy who's recently divorced. You need to meet. Does that match yours?
So far, so good.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so blind date.
Blind date. Okay. Wow. All right. And how long ago was that?
Ooh.
It would be 16
04?
years ago.
It's like 04 or 05, something like that.
04, 05.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who said I love you first?
Ooh. I know for sure I thought it. And my story of like when I fell in love with her is when we were in our kitchen, or my kitchen, and we were, I can't remember what it was, but like she is always driving around or whatever, and she came over to the house, and I was like, blah, 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 and she's like, and then she goes, just hang on, would you mind if I turn the baseball game on? And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then I fell in love.
That is.
And
That
he
is
fell in
awesome.
love.
Right there.
So, Stephanie, you're a big sports fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what sports do you like?
Particularly basketball, college
Okay.
basketball. Yep.
You're a Duke fan, right?
I'm a Duke.
Yeah! Shout out to all the Duke fans.
That's
This is
right.
a Duke household.
That's
Yes.
right.
That
we
is
have
wonderful.
a son named
Wonderful.
Cameron. It's
Right.
that deep. But
All
yeah.
right. Awesome. So, next question is, what made you all want to get married? Like, who proposed?
I actually did.
You proposed. So what made you, or what did you see in Stephanie that made you want to propose?
Well, the thing is, like, we're good friends, number one.
Mhm.
So we can give it and take it pretty much with each other. So,
Okay.
but obviously, I loved her, so that was
Mhm.
the main
Helpful.
reason.
Say.
Yeah. But no, we just get along great, and I think the one thing that, as we've kind of gone through our marriage or whatever, is our general core values are the same.
Okay.
That's the best way to put it.
Okay.
So, and
Okay.
that's, I think, kind of one of the keys.
Okay. Stephanie?
I'd say the same thing. I think we see a lot of things very similarly,
Mhm.
and that's hard to find. I waited a long time to get married,
Mhm.
and wasn't really sure that I would ever make that jump with somebody because I just saw friends who were going through divorces, and I saw, just all the difficulties that came about. And I think with Dave, we could laugh.
Mhm.
But when we looked at like hard problems or things like that, I think, and to this day, there's like we have something going on with one of our kids right now. We see it very similarly, and that really helps to know it kind of doesn't matter what comes up in the future. If you kind of come from that same perspective, it just makes it easier to go through.
Makes sense. And laughter is good. I find laughter to be a key to a happy relationship. Yeah, someone who will make you laugh is awesome. So,
Yeah.
so 14 years. So what's your advice for making it to at least 14 years?
Don't take things too seriously,
Okay.
but pay attention to the, pay attention to the big things and don't let the little things bother you.
Okay.
Because it's life is life. There's nothing's perfect. You're gonna get mad at each other and all that stuff. But in general, like we don't always agree,
Mhm.
but we always big picture agree.
Okay.
And I think that makes it, I don't know, it's, you know, it's sort of hard to find somebody that you look forward to talking to every day.
Right.
You know, that's not just something you don't find. So, so I really like being around her all the time. So it's nice.
Good deal.
I like it.
What about you, Stephanie? What's your advice for 14 years at least?
My advice: find the right person.
That's big.
That's a big one.
That's big.
That's hard.
Keep a light-hearted attitude. You know, if somebody leaves their dirty socks on the floor, it's annoying, but it's not a big deal.
She's
Right.
talking about her children.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
not-
All right. Good.
He's
All right.
He's perfect.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
you know,
we just ride on the every once in a while when I do something wrong.
yeah, those
It's
few times.
small.
Yeah, but I think it's being patient, knowing that they're usually not quick fixes to things. You got to talk your way through it. You got to feel your way through it. It's okay to get mad, and you know you're going to go through spells. But what's the end goal? The end goal is to come out of it still loving that person, respecting them, you know, giving them grace, and hoping you know it's returned, and trying.
Trying is big.
Yeah.
Some people don't try.
Well, it's
You gotta
easy
try.
to get frustrated and stop trying, but
Right.
you get what you get. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. You get out of it what you put into it. So
Right.
yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Right.
So you guys have kids, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
How many?
3. We got one from a previous marriage of mine, and
Okay.
she's 21 now
Okay.
in college, and then we have the twin boys,
Twin boys. How old are they?
12.
12.
Wow.
Just turned 12.
We had some twins on the show not
I've
too long
heard.
ago. Yeah, I think you guys know them, right?
Yes.
Right. So so parenting advice. What parenting advice do you have?
Oh man.
Where do you start?
I know, right?
Kind of like with the same advice for how you keep a long marriage going. You got to be patient.
hmm
You got to love them and let them know that they're safe in that love. I think that's a hard thing to do. Is you know you might not like what they're doing. They're gonna mess up, but if they know you love them, you can kind of get them back on course.
And you got to be tougher than you want to be. 'Cause
Tougher than you want to be. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because you want to, you want to be happy.
Right.
But then part of making them happy is you gotta
Yeah.
reel them in, and dude, you gotta, yeah. And boys are a lot different than girls too. 'Cause boys,
Yes.
you can kind of, dude,
Yeah.
you gotta give
So,
them that once in a while.
I have 2 boys and 1 girl too. So yeah, they
Are
they
you
are
a
different.
daddy's girl?
I am a daddy's girl.
Uh-huh.
I truly
I
am.
see that in you.
In the biggest sense of the word, I am.
Uh-huh.
I am. So for me, like kids and marriage, I actually know some people who say the two don't mix. You know, I've heard people, say that kids kind of messes up the marriage because it takes away from the alone time that you can spend with each other. So my wife and I, we make sure that we set aside time just for us. And now we are actually in a wonderful position because with the virtual learning, like our kids are actually here with us for a week, and then we have a week with no kids.
Oh.
So we get a week to miss them. We get a week by ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do, like when they're gone, like by the 3rd day, we like, man, when the kids coming back? And then when they're here, by the 3rd day, we're like, oh man, when the kids leaving? So what's important about, mingling kids with marriage? Like, have you guys found anything specific that works, as far as that goes?
It's funny because it's sort of the phases you go through, and we're just like right at the spot where we can leave the house and leave the mother. So
Mhm.
we actually went out to dinner. Like the first time we just like,
We just left him at home.
yeah, we'll be
And
back.
went to dinner,
And
and
it was like
2 hours later,
That was
totally
great.
cool, but totally fine, all good.
nothing burned down.
Nothing
Good,
burned down.
good.
They're all good, and they're relatively, knock on wood, responsible for the most part,
Okay.
in peace. But it is hard because you want to go out and do your own thing,
Mm-hmm.
but kids absorb you.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we enjoy it too. Like
Yeah.
we love our kids and they're fun.
Well, and that's you do
Yeah.
miss them. Yeah, I think you go through phases. Like when you're in your 20s and you think, oh, I want to get married and have all this romantic love, and it's a different notion than when you're older and then you've got kids and what you do. You're not going out on romantic dates and going in hot air balloons and drinking champagne.
So it's not like The
Um,
Bachelor.
Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
not like The Bachelor. But you enjoy being out with your kids and going to Five Guys, or it's just a different kind of enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, it can't be only that, because you need the romance there to stay
Right.
connected. I think that's where you're going.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's hard. I mean,
It is. It definitely can be.
yeah.
So with you guys having such a age gap in between your kids, like 21 and 12, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How is that working out for you? Was it hard to basically start over with kids after so long? I guess
Not
for you,
really. I mean, when it was not. I mean, for me, it was great. We both wanted kids, and
I think for you, going from girl
it was
to
weird.
boy and
Right.
girl to two boys,
Right.
was
Well, it was funny because when we were trying to have kids, and she's like, "What would you want?" And I'm like, "Well, I want a girl because that's what." And it's funny because usually a guy wants a guy.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm just used to girls, whatever. And then we had the boys. I'm like, "Oh man, this is fun." And so it's just two different things, right?
Mhm.
I can
Yeah, and
sports.
you hang out with my dudes.
Right.
But
Get out the car.
yeah, so with the age gap there, it's kind of weird because they sort of they're separated out so far because she's what, almost
She's
9?
almost 10 years old.
Yeah, 10 years older. So, and she's now in college in a way or whatever.
Mhm.
So they,
All right. So was it hard with the twins? Did you expect twins? Do they run in your family?
No, but
No.
we knew really early in my pregnancy it was twins.
Really?
Yeah, like really early. And I remember, because I wanted two boys, like that's
Mhm.
just kind of my thought of how my life would turn out, or I hoped it would.
Mhm.
I
And
guess her.
he wanted a girl. We're doing little ultrasounds, just like, oh, first one's a boy, and I'm like, yes. She's like, she's like, second one's a boy, and I'm like, what? He's like, oh, adjustment.
Uh-huh.
And twins are hard. Twins
Yeah.
are, but
They're hard and they're easy. It's weird.
it was,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, in hindsight, you just don't remember the really hard part. But with one pregnancy, I had two healthy boys, and you went through diapers once and all that stuff once.
Mhm.
Our two are very different.
Really?
And so that's kind of been, I think, the most fun thing.
Mhm.
Is they're the same age, they came from the same place, but they're
Mhm.
really different people, and then, that's been fascinating just to,
Wow.
yeah.
And it isn't, I always like, and this probably sounds like a bad analogy, but if you have a dog, it's a dog.
Mhm.
If you have two dogs, your personalities really come out. And when you
Mhm.
have two kids that come out exactly the same,
Mhm.
and they just, when they diverge in who they are, what they like, and it's amazing how different they are. But then they're kind of the same too, they're kind of,
Yeah, they're both 12-year-old boys.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
right.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I had two twins on. They were my uncles. You guys know them. So it was interesting
They
hearing.
introduced us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Yes. So shout out to Uncle Ronald and Uncle Donald for bringing the riches on.
That's right.
But it was, when I interviewed them, it was funny to hear about how they said that they were basically the same person up until one went into the Army and one went into the Reserve. So, and that was up until they graduated high school. So to hear that, like you said, your boys are 12 and they're completely different already.
Mhm.
But I think, because I thought that was interesting when they said that in your
Mhm.
interview, and it made me think, I mean, same with our boys, where they, same elementary school, same, sports teams through a certain point, they'll, same school now. I mean, I think it's kind of the same thing where they are traveling the same path.
Mhm.
We're just starting now where one wanted to do wrestling, for instance, the other is doing basketball. They're
Mhm.
starting to kind of see some splintering, but it kind of hit me hearing them say that
Mhm.
it's kind of true. It's almost like you gotta move to a different city, or go to a different high school or something to get
Mhm.
that first identity for each of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. I wanted twins. My mom has a twin. My grandma had 3 sets of twins.
Mhm.
So I always wanted twins, but it did not happen.
It's
But-
not too late.
Oh, yes, it is. My wife wants another one, and I'm scared to have twins now because
Yeah.
I feel like for every kid it's 2. So I have 3, but I feel like it's 6. So 6 is more than enough for me.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm all right with 6. So I thank you guys so much for coming on. I
Thanks.
really appreciate it. Great advice. Hopefully some of our viewers can take some of that advice and run with it. All right. So congratulations on 14 years. When's your anniversary?
3-3.
March 3rd.
Oh wow, mine is March 17th.
So close.
We
oh,
always-
St.
we-
Patrick's Day.
We always laugh because we got married on March 3rd of 07, so 3-3 of 07. Was it 2 years ago that we both got the date wrong? Both of us.
Really?
I'm
was literally-
certain.
Yeah.
Like you asked me, I would
Yeah.
say it's March 7th because that's what's in my head.
377 instead of
It's
337.
actually March 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So
As a matter of fact, I think I remembered and she forgot it.
you
Isn't
did.
that-
I was in the kitchen.
Kudos.
It was awesome.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Kudos.
That's
yeah.
big,
They
heavy
usually works the other way around.
Hanging over. her
Oh,
head.
I was in the kitchen in my bathroom, like making pancakes, just whatever. He walks in, happy
Smoking a
or-
cigarette with
Yeah,
curling
exactly.
curlers.
He walks in with a little gift. I'm like, what's that? I mean, I had no idea.
Wow.
He's like,
Yeah.
you dummy. Kidding. No.
Well, it happens to the best of us. I tend to forget sometimes too, but
Mm-hmm.
my wife is always there to remind me. So
She's
good
there
deal.
for.
Yeah, that's what she's there
That's
for.
right.
So again, I thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
And
Thanks.
hopefully we'll have you again soon sometime.
Sure.
Talk
All right.
nice.
You could interview our kids.
Yes, yes. So I want to have a kids episode
Well,
anyway.
we should
Anyway,
do a
so
twin
that would be
Oh,
a great idea.
that would be entertaining.
It would.
That would be fascinating.
And
Yeah,
a
we're gonna
twin
do that.
show would be cool too.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
twin show would be good.
That'd be fun.
I know several twins. So.
Yeah. Ooh, the wheels are
You guys
turning.
giving me ideas and everything.
All right.
That's
We're in.
All right.
good deal. Good deal. Okay. So everyone, that's our show for today. Again, I thank the Riches for coming on and sharing their journey with us. So this has been another Giving Away Game interview, and I will see you guys next time.
In-house production.